and good things come to an end. All right, and happy post Valentine's Day. I hope everybody had a good day. This is B Trill with Phins Football Podcast. This is season 2, episode 1. So, this is the very first episode of the very new season. So, we're going to take all of 2024. We're going to toss it out. That was a losing season. We finished 8-9. 8-9, no playoffs, no victories. So we're going to chalk that up as a losing season. So this is season 2, episode 1 of Phins Football Podcast. If this is your first time, go ahead and subscribe. Please go ahead and show me some love with some likes. I will go ahead and start breaking everything down with some early cuts that we have for Miami Dolphins. So again, if this is your first time, this is for Dolphins news, updates, predictions, recaps when we actually get back to the season. But during the offseason, we're going to go over some cuts. We're going to go over some targets of who you think we should get. We might even do some mock drafts. But we're going to go over a lot of stuff when the draft happens, free agency. So we got a very busy offseason. So just because there's no games doesn't mean there's no content. So we have had a busy week already. We have made 3 cuts. With those 3 cuts, we have freed up $7 million. With those 3 cuts, though, it is Kendall Fuller, Raheem Mostert, and Durham Smythe. So we do have a long-term Durham Smythe. Mostert we have for 3 years. Kendall Fuller, 1-year rental. But the sad part is Raheem Mostert. So Raheem, the dream, Maserati Mostert. Again, good things have to come to the end with this relationship. Sometimes you just give it your all and it's just not enough. He was a Pro Bowl. He had his best career days with us. He was one of our number 1 targets, but sometimes you just get old and you're no longer a fit. So with that, what should we do? We have obviously Devon Achane, but are we going to be a one-person independent household? Or are we going to lean on help and get some teamwork? Well, I think we need the 1-2 punch. We need 2 people back there contributing, sharing the rock, and having a very successful run and hopefully a championship season. So with that, I don't think Jalen Wright is going to be the next back. We need to start talking about who is actually going to fill the shoes for Raheem Mostert as being the second pace back. We do have the draft. We do have free agency. So we got a lot to think about what to come up with. But I just think it's a lot. I mean, we go from having the most touchdowns in 2023, giving it his all. But with that, again, we get $7 million. We are $5 million now still over the cap. So we need to trim some more fat, throw some more to the curb. It is almost spring cleaning, but let's start that a little early, as you see. We're not mandatory to make any cuts yet, but we need to start getting under that salary cap and seeing who is out there, what our next moves are. Speaking of free agency, Javon Holland. So I'm going to go over our biggest needs for the offseason. And it's early. we haven't done all of our cuts yet. Again, who knows? There might be some surprise trades. I'm almost thinking maybe a Bradley Chubb trade, just so we can dump some of that salary cap. Seeing that Chop Robinson is doing his thing. Um, I want to go over some stats with Raheem Mostert, who last year he only had 85 carries, 278 yards, and a 3.3 average. So that's nothing like the stats that he put up the year before in 2023, where he led the league in touchdowns. He did have those 2 costly fumbles. He also had 19 catches for 161 yards. Yeah. Oh, and 26 targets. 2 touchdowns, sorry. Durham Smythe, he had 9 receptions, 53 yards on 17 targets. Kendall Fuller, he had only 11 games. So he was injured for 7 of those. He had a lot of concussion problems last year. But he had 50 tackles, 35 of those were solo, 1 tackle for loss, 7 pass deflections or pass breakups, 0 interceptions. So again, we needed some interceptions out of him and 1 fumble recovery. So with those stats, again, it's bigger names than really what we're actually losing. I think that we can go ahead and fill those shoes and move on and look forward to a bigger, better year next year and hopefully a championship season. I think some of our biggest needs right now, number 1 is guard. I think that we need at least 1 guard. I'm thinking 2 guards. I don't think we keep Liam Eichenberg. Robert Jones might be coming back for death, but I think that guards are number 1 on our list. And again, we don't know who's being cut, so we don't know what our biggest needs are. If Javon Holland's cut, maybe safety, because I don't think we're re-signing Poyer. So that means we would have 2 safeties we would need. Again, free agency and draft. Number 2 on my list, if we are not keeping Javon Holland, backup quarterback. We saw what happened when Tua went down. Tyler Huntley, he won us a game or 2, but he wasn't the long term if Tua's down for long term. So he is a filler, but I think we need to grab somebody in the draft or maybe free agency. So we'll see about our backup quarterback. With Kendall Fuller being cut, we need a boundary defensive back. So we need somebody on the outside. Obviously, we have Jalen Ramsey, but a lot of times Jalen Ramsey likes to roam. So we'll see what happens there. Excuse me. Also, with losing Raheem Mostert, maybe we need a power back. I know Raheem Mostert was not a power back, but the reason we're getting rid of Raheem Mostert is because he was the speed. Now we have Devon Achane as our speed. So we can't have really 2 speed backs. Plus, Mostert, I believe he is 32-ish. He's getting up there. But we need a power back. Jalen Wright, he might be a power back. Who knows? But Jeff Wilson, he was our power back. He was a healthy scratch pretty much all season. So we need somebody in there consistently pounding the rock. You really don't have to listen to this, but I play Madden, and I always love doing a little pre-off season, seeing what I can do, what I can get. The Boise State running back, Genty, he was sitting there at 13. I know that's very, 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 very early for a running back. But think about him thumping the ball, and Devon Achane will have our own Sonic and Knuckles. I mean, you see what the Lions do with them, but just a thought. I don't see us using a first-round pick on a back, especially since we traded a third-round pick to get Jalen Wright. Also, I think Next, we have defensive tackle. Calais Campbell, I don't think he's coming back at 38. I'm 38. My back isn't as good as probably his is. Defensive end. I think that defensive end, we only have Sealer. If we don't have Campbell, we're really not having anybody else on the outside because we have Benito Jones in the middle. So really defensive end, defensive tackle. We need line. You see what the Eagles did with their line. Let's try to do something like that. And again, safety. Even if Javon Holland is staying, we still need a safety. Poyer was not the answer last year. But this is just kind of a quick video. I only spent, about 10 minutes giving you a quick update on some cuts, some updates, some needs, what we should do. So I'll keep you updated all off season long on cuts, predictions, draft needs, and of course after the draft. So I'll try to be putting out a video every week. But as always, thank you for tuning in. Again, this is a brand new season. Let's toss out everything from last year. We are on to season 2, new chapter, episode 1. So thanks again for tuning in. Again, show me some love, give me some likes, and a subscribe. Again, this is B Trill with Phins Football Podcast. And as always, Fins up, family.